Time Warner Cable is pleased to be an underwriting sponsor for Carolina Week. From the James F. Goodman Studio in the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, connecting campus and community, this is Carolina Week.
Hello and welcome to this special edition of Carolina Week. I'm Carly Swain.
And I'm Elizabeth Edmonds. Thank you for joining us. During the next half hour, we'll take a look back at some of the most memorable moments of spring 2009 here at Carolina. In February, a quiet Sunday night of studying ended abruptly when the Department of Public Safety called for an evacuation of the Pitt area and main libraries. Melanie Fernandez was there.
Students in Davis Library found out about 8:45 p.m. when the evacuations began. Jenny Smith was walking to the library when suddenly police made her turn around.
I was a little bit nervous. It was kind of, you wouldn't expect that to happen, especially on a Sunday night in the pit.
DPS responded to a bomb threat, bringing in a bomb squad, bomb-sniffing canines, and plenty of firearms. UNC student Anna Marshall says that's what got her attention.
We couldn't tell what was going on until we walked outside and saw DPS holding this really large weapon.
DPS Information Specialist Randy Young explains the call that came into Orange County 911.
It indicated a threat to the Pitt area of campus involving an explosive device.
By now, it was close to midnight, and Young explained the law enforcement and operation.
They're trying to ascertain whether the threat exists and as I said, the level of threat if it does exist.
It was also about this time, 11:47 p.m., that this text came across the alert system. UNC student Kevin Wilson is concerned that roughly 3 hours passed before the alert came out.
We have a first legitimate huge thing in Central Campus that you might consider you figured you hear something, no email, nothing.
The next day, students went back to class just like any normal day. In Chapel Hill, I'm Melanie Fernandez, Carolina Week.
Officials never found the suspect, but believe it might have been a prank. Safety is a major issue on campus. Even our student body president, Jasmine Jones, has highlighted it in her platform. Jason Kahn reviews the level of safety at UNC.
On any ordinary day, people fill the pit hoping to relax. But March 3rd, 2006 wasn't an ordinary day.
I just hit several people with the vehicle.
The lives of many students changed in an instant, among them Elisa Extencamper.
For a lot of us, after the pit incident, we really had reason to question our safety. And I remember walking around campus and whenever I would see a car, even near campus, I was just afraid.
Extencamper luckily escaped being hit by the car driven by UNC alumnus Mohammed Taheri Azar. Since that horrific day, bollards are regularly placed in front of various entrances to campus. But is that enough?
Safety and Security Chairman Andy Rickelman told me the committee heard from people suggesting that officials bar all vehicles from campus, even those as small as this golf cart. But Rickelman says the committee reviewed that possibility and disagree with it because it would keep emergency and service vehicles from entering.
For a campus of this size, Chapel Hill is one of the safer campuses in the United States.
But Department of Public Safety Chief Jeff McCracken says unexpected acts of violence cannot be prevented.
Our goal then would be response and to put an end to whatever the act is as quickly as possible.
And Rickelman says it's the best we can do.
Unfortunately, it takes catalysts like the Pitt incident to really look back over our policies and figure out where we've got to go from there.
Extencamper no longer walks in fear on campus, but she knows her life could always be in danger.
I think it's just the reality of living in our world today that, we're really not safe anywhere.
2 years ago, Extencamper didn't think about safety much. Then again, people typically don't.
After the bomb threat on campus in February, DPS and the Safety and Security Committee are looking into making the text messaging system more effective.
This spring marked the one-year anniversary of the death of our student body president, Eve Carson. Almost a year to the day, we did this report to take a look at the legal progression of the murder case.
Leave it to a university to talk about an issue that everyone has an opinion about, but no one seems to want to discuss. Leave it to life to test us when we least expect it. In March of 2008, questions of life and death stopped being academic for students at UNC Chapel Hill. Undergraduates in the drama department were rehearsing Dead Man Walking, a play about capital punishment, as part of a year-long examination of the death penalty. Then the words on a page came to life. A young woman was found murdered on a residential street near campus.
At approximately 5 a.m., Demario James Atwater, 21 years old, was taken into police custody after he was observed exiting the residence. Warrants have been served on Atwater, charging him with first-degree murder in the death of Eve Carson.
The performance of Dead Man Walking came and went, but the pain of losing one of our own sent a shockwave through the university community. Since March of 2008, 2 suspects, Demario Atwater and Lawrence Levitt Jr., have been held in jail on charges in connection with Eve Carson's murder. Lawrence Levitt Jr. is charged with first-degree murder. He has a pending indictment and is awaiting a superior court date. Levitt was a juvenile at the time of the murder and therefore ineligible for the death penalty, but Atwater was 21. Demario Atwater has pled not guilty to 4 charges. One of them is carjacking resulting in a death, and the U.S. Attorney General has authorized Orange County District Attorney Jim Woodall to pursue the death penalty.
Atwater could be the first person sent to death row in North Carolina in 36 years. One of Eve's dreams for UNC was a 1-year scholarship for a promising junior. Reporter Hadley Heath introduces us to a young lady who's living out Eve's vision of the Carolina Way.
Eleanor Benami is the first ever recipient of the Eve Marie Carson Memorial Junior Year Scholarship. Eleanor shares Eve's passionate curiosity for life and has widespread interests.
I could say that I'm interested in just about anything or everything. I have developed a particular passion for sustainability-related issues. I like going outside, working outside. I work at Battle Park, and that's been wonderful and amazing, and I love having that kind of grounding experience of being able to be out there.
Even on the coldest days of the year, Benami works at Battle Park, keeping the trails clear and beautiful so other students and community members can enjoy them. Back on campus, Benami is a double major in international studies and economics. She says she likes to learn outside of the classroom as well and calls herself a student of life.
So every interaction I've had with other people has in some way shaped or formed or influenced who I am, and so I'm thankful.
Eleanor said she knew Eve casually and feels honored to receive an award in her name.
To be so directly affiliated with her legacy is, to me, an incredible honor, and also an incredible responsibility.
But it's a responsibility she's proud to bear. In Chapel Hill, I'm Hadley Heath, Carolina Week.
In April, the Moorhead Cain Foundation gave $30,000 to the Eve Carson Jr. Scholarship Fund and established a separate 4-year scholarship in her name. Coming up after the break,
surviving cold weather, surviving with Facebook, and our own Chapel Hill survivor.
Let's go, man.
Hello, ladies.
Can you imagine your life without animals? Here at the Durham Animal Shelter, we can't. So come see us. Your new best friend is already expecting you.
Let's give it a shot. You can do it this time. I gotta get a real dog.
Want to start a business? Have concerns about state regulations? Need information fast? Don't fret, the North Carolina Business Service Center is here for you. When you've got questions about business, we've got the answers that mean business. Pick up the phone and dial the Business Service Center. Call 1-800-228-8443.
You know, washing your clothes in cold water instead of hot uses 90% less energy.
I know.
The landing of Flight 1549 on the Hudson River has gone down in history as a true miracle. Reporter Nadine Mazer shines a light on a UNC professor who survived the crash.
After the crash of Continental Flight 3407 in Buffalo, New York, this Flight 1549 survivor and UNC professor David Sontag considers himself one of the lucky ones.
When a plane crashes, you either come out with the kind of wonderful outcome we had, or tragically you come out with the outcome that happened in Buffalo.
And while Sontag remains grateful for Captain Sully Sullenberger, crew and passengers, he's requested his luggage be returned to him. In it is a pair of gold cufflinks. They're the ones he wore when he gave his brother's eulogy, and they once belonged to his brother.
My sister-in-law said to me, or came over to me and handed me a pair of gold cufflinks, saying, "This is the first present I gave to your brother for our wedding anniversary, and I want you to have them."
Sontag, a New York native, was facing New Jersey in row 23 of 26 when it hit the Hudson, but his first sight outside the plane was the New York skyline.
Even though I was sitting on the right side, I got out on the left-hand side, on the New York side. I guess it's the New Yorker in me.
This is one of David's favorite pictures of his brother. Sontag was in New York for his brother's funeral and wasn't even supposed to be on Flight 1549. A canceled direct flight to Raleigh landed him on the plane to Charlotte and on the Hudson River. Sontag feels his brother is watching over him and that it just wasn't his time yet.
He's now up there playing golf with my dad, and he's hitting the ball farther and straighter than he's ever hit it. And the last thing he wants is his kid brother to come up and hit it past him.
In Chapel Hill, I'm Nadine Mazer, Carolina Week.
What an amazing story. And the temperatures in New York that day were as low as 20 degrees, so you can imagine how freezing the river was.
Walking across campus each day in the cold might not be your idea of fun, but what if you had to work outside every day during the winter months? And the decision to stay inside meant more than just having to borrow notes. Bethany Tuggle has our story.
Alejandro Aguilar works at the construction site of the new Venable building here on campus. He says spending his days working in the cold means keeping his family warm at night.
You think your family, you need to work, no matter the temperature, you need to support your family.
Mike Connor is the project manager at the site. He says for many of his employees, the heavy burden of providing for their families is what keeps them going.
They're motivated. Usually, most of them are married, have children, so they're looking at paying the rent, doing the car payment, buying a bag of groceries.
Working in the cold not only makes for an uncomfortable day, but also carries with it potential health risks that Connor's employees and others like them should constantly be aware of. It doesn't have to be bitterly cold for someone to suffer from hypothermia. It can even occur at about 40 degrees if a person becomes chilled from rain or sweat. Other factors are rapid changes in temperature, wind chill, amount of time outside, and how much skin is exposed. Subcontractors at construction sites provide trailers like this one where workers can go to warm up on their breaks. But 15 minutes goes by quickly and then it's back outside.
It's hard to go inside the trailer to warm it up and then come out and start working when it's cold outside.
Aguilar and those like him certainly measure up to what it means to be dedicated and willing to work hard for the good of their families, no matter what the temperature.
It can be tempting to complain about having to walk to class when it's cold, but it seems like a minor thing compared to what these guys have to face in the winter. The popular website Facebook has new terms of use which expand control over content, and users are protesting that change. I spoke with students and experts and tried to figure out this Facebook jargon.
I read the first line and then I clicked yes, I agree, and the next button.
Media Law PhD student Woodrow Herzog agrees Facebook's terms of use are difficult to understand.
So as they're currently constructed, they're almost impossible to read. Even lawyers can't stand reading them. And so I think the better proposal would be to simplify them.
According to Facebook, site managers have legal rights to save all content posted, including pictures, comments, and wall posts. Junior Mark Pilkington and Herzog think that's too much power.
I feel it as if they have unnecessary power. There's really, to me, no justification of why Facebook needs to hold all my information for X amount of years.
If the company gets a little too carried away with their power and they don't think that the users will call them on it, then we've seen in the past that they'll take advantage of that.
In response to this controversy, Facebook has established a Users' Bill of Rights and plans to let users vote on changes to the terms of use. Herzog likes these ideas.
And so everyone ends up a little better off when, when everything is transparent and we know what we're getting into.
Herzog believes users need to be aware that Facebook isn't a closed community anymore. It's public.
The irony is incredible, isn't it? I mean, social media is meant to spread personal information. That's the very nature of it. And I think that's why you have to proceed with caution.
So even though he won't be erasing his profile anytime soon, Pilkington believes Facebook is not the way it used to be.
I think Facebook now is beginning more to protect itself as a company and an entity of itself rather than keeping the overall goal of being a social networking site.
After all the confusion, Facebook went back to its earlier terms of use. You know, Carly, Carolina Spirit has been unstoppable this semester.
Yeah, it really has, and we've covered it all. Coming up, a look back at how the Tar Heel Nation celebrated our national championship win.
Where's the whole wheat? Where's the whole wheat?
Hey, excuse me? Excuse me, sir. Something wrong?
Yeah, there's something wrong. You want to get me some whole wheat? Oh, come on.
Hey, hey, amigo. Hey, I asked you for whole wheat bread. This is not what I wanted. El Wheato.
Sorry for the confusion.
You know, that's the problem with these people. If you want to serve Americans, you got to learn to speak the language. You know what I'm saying?
No, sir. I don't. Enjoy your lunch.
Imagine the power of one voice. Click freedomcenter.org to find yours.
Hello. Yes. Can I ask a few questions about the apartment on Park Street?
What was your name?
My name is Juan Hernandez.
It's been rented.
Oh, it's gone. Hello, my name is Sanjay Kumar. I am calling about the apartment on Park Street.
It's not available.
Not available? Hello, my name is Tyrone Washington. I'm calling about the apartment on Park Street.
Just been rented.
Hello, I am Chen Ling. My name is Khalid bin Ali. I'm Tuan Vo. Hello, my name is Moshe Goldberg. I use a wheelchair. It's gone. Not available. All right. Thank you. Yes, hello, my name is Graham Wellington. I'm calling about the apartment for rent on Park Street. Is that still available?
Yes, it is.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
Really?
Housing discrimination is illegal. If you think you've been a victim because of your race, color, national origin, sex, religion, disability, or family status, call us. Fair housing. It's not an option. It's the law.
Before the basketball team was crowned national champs, the Heels played Sweet 16 and Elite 8 games in Memphis, Tennessee. Nick King was there to show us the scene on the streets outside the arena.
Memphis, Tennessee, the home of the blues and the birthplace of rock and roll. And for one weekend, home to the NCAA Tournament South Regional semifinals and finals. The NCAA would be hard-pressed to find a more fan-friendly location.
It's something to experience. If you're not here, you need to be here.
Before the games, fans flock to famous Beale Street, where they're free to drink a beer on the street and support their teams as proudly as they know how.
The passion builds in you, you know? Hate Duke, love North Carolina, that's where you are.
The Beale Street here is awesome. The stadium's right downtown, the bar streets close off traffic, right on campus here, so it's a great location for the tournament so far.
Carolina blue is the most commonly seen color, thanks in large part to the contingent of Tyler Hansbrough followers from all across Missouri.
He's definitely captivated the entire town and everybody loves him.
Come tip-off time, the FedEx Forum is conveniently only half a block away. Win or lose, fans make their way back to Beale Street at night. For Tar Heel fans, it's time to celebrate.
Because we're a Tyler Hansbrough fan, woo!
Nights finally wind down about 3 a.m., and it's no surprise that Tar Heel fans enjoyed their stay.
It's awesome.
It's great.
A lot of fun.
Really love it. Love to come back.
Because in Memphis, there's no black, no white, just the blues. Carolina blue, that is.
The fan presence in Memphis certainly played a large role in the Heels' success.
In Detroit, 70,000 fans packed into Ford Field. Sarah Moore was there to capture all of the Carolina excitement.
For less than $30, UNC students could buy tickets for the Final Four games. But that was the easy part. They still had to get to Detroit, and it took most 11 hours to drive here.
And then we all came here, and it felt like it was only 1 hour because we were so excited.
And once the students got here, there was still the question of where to stay.
We're staying in Canada.
You know, safer over the border.
Cheaper.
Canada might be just across the river, but still, it's Canada. We wanted to have kind of an ethnic experience. No matter how the students got here or where they're staying, now it's all about the Tar Heels. And the students don't seem to be lacking in the excitement department.
This excited. This excited! Yes, that much. Thank you for the assistance.
Some wear face paint to show their excitement. Others show off their Danny Green dancing skills. And others have very interesting outfits. So I'm Little Bo Peep in Carolina Blue. This is my sheep, which is, like a ram. So, yeah, I'm just here to represent, basically. For the students here, nothing is as important as Carolina basketball.
Study for our medical school test on Thursday.
That shows the dedication that we are here when we have a test. Despite this being a very green town filled with Michigan State fans, the Tar Heel fans have plenty of enthusiasm saved up for tonight.
You know, maybe the enthusiasm of the fans led the Heels to a victory in the national championship game.
Some lucky students got to see the game up close in the front row in Detroit, and as our Wilson Andrews shows us, it's an experience they'll never forget.
At 6 a.m. on a snowy Detroit morning, these students lined up for a chance to watch their Tar Heels take home a national championship title. 6 hours later, cold and wet, they finally got bracelets and a reprieve from the wintry weather.
My footwear was inappropriate. I wore the classic Carolina boat shoes, and they're a little wet, and wet leather is not good. Should be like tan. I've changed socks twice today. It's cold.
Some of the students found very hip ways to stay warm.
I think Carolina's going to blow out Michigan State through the inspiration of Snuggie.
At 5:30, the snow had stopped, and the students were back in line and armed with signs and chants to counter anything the Spartans threw their way.
Go Danny! Go Danny!
At last, the students got to head into Ford Field for the big game. So was waiting in the long lines worth it?
I would just like to show you the front row, just right here. This is the front row. And this right here, back here, about 20 feet ahead is the basketball court.
As the game got closer, the excitement built. After the 11-hour drive, a whole day in the snow, staying in Canada, and a whole season of basketball, the Carolina fans who made the trip to Detroit got to see what they'd been waiting for all day, all season, and for some, all of their lives. So it wasn't just the players who got an unforgettable trip to Detroit. The fans might have made sacrifices, but they got to be at the big game when the Tar Heels won the national championship. In Detroit, I'm Wilson Andrews, Carolina Week.
And as neat as it was to be there in Detroit with all those fans, just like our Wilson Andrews, Chapel Hill wasn't a bad place to be either.
Especially when you could jump over a pile of fire.
Yeah, exactly. Coming up after the break.
More of the best of spring 2009.
Escucha Smokey antes de tratar.
Solo tú.
No juegues con fósforos, no juegues con fuego. No hay nada para un pobre conejo asustado, a un pobre ratón sin casa en que vivir. Si un hermoso bosque es lo que deseas, no juegues con fósforos, no juegues con fuego.
Solo tú puedes prevenir los fuegos forestales.
¡Fuego!
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful
If you have a story idea, contact Carolina Week at 843-8292. You can also visit us online at carolinaweek.org. If you have questions about this program, write Carolina Week at Campus Box 3365, UNCCH, Chapel Hill, North Carolina 27599.
One local designer says he knows how to keep you cool during a long, hot summer. Reporter Carla Webb takes us inside a long-standing Franklin Street landmark.
According to Alexander Julian, there's a one-of-a-kind experience behind this storefront. He has a game plan to keep an edge on the competition.
We hope to be an arbiter of good taste and set a standard of excellence that reflects what this community is about, which is cool, hip, traditional values.
Julian's on Franklin Street has been a focal point of Chapel Hill for more than 60 years. Despite an economic recession, the store's sales were up 23.4% in December. So what's unique about the store? His store now carries a line of custom-made men's and women's clothing. He says it can be hard to find women's outfits that suit individual taste and measurements at other stores. Courtney Locust enjoys the store environment.
You might have an appearance from Alex, the designer in the store. You might see a whole bunch of your friends and walk over to the game together.
The CEO strives to incorporate his art into the community. He has a line of clothes exclusively dedicated to his alma mater, UNC Chapel Hill. He creates fabrics, designed Coach Roy Williams' championship tie, and there's a store scholarship for students.
UNC basketball fans may be excited to hear that Alexander Julian is the designer of the UNC basketball uniform. He hopes to expand the Argyle design on the side to a new clothing line, Argyle Nation.
The collection will include a rainbow of many colors. Julian welcomes fans to visit the store and enjoy refreshments on game days. He hopes the 67-year tradition goes on for at least another 67. In Chapel Hill, I'm Carla Webb, Carolina Week.
Julian's has been a Franklin Street staple since 1942.
That typical Honda or Saturn you see on campus might have more under the hood than you think. Carolina Week Sports met up with a few NC State students who take speed seriously. Jen Carpenter has the story.
The world of motorsports got its start on a straight line strip. Welcome to The Rock, the home of drag racing in the Southeast. Amateur drivers from all over the country come to race their rides down this quarter-mile strip.
I ran another 13.48. Nice. That's my best time actually ever.
Students from North Carolina State University have taken this pretty dangerous and very expensive hobby to the next level.
If you want to modify your car and get just crazy times and really push the bar, you can spend a lot of money.
He's not kidding.
I've invested about $1,500 in parts.
I think I've only spent around $1,500 to $2,000.
About $2,500.
To the members of the Wolfpack Drag Strip Club, that's money well spent on 10 seconds of speed.
You can let your car do exactly what it wants to do. You can see how much power you have, how fast you can put it down, and how fast you can go.
Fast is fast.
When I drag strip, I mean, I've hit up to 150, 160.
And that kind of speed requires just as fine-tuned of a driver as it does a car.
The first 60 feet is definitely the most important part of your drag racing. It's where you have to focus the most and where you need to know what you need to do with the car.
I know if I've done well through my launch and if I've had good traction or not, and that's just really when my heart's just pounding.
All that really goes through my mind is pushing clutch, shift gear, let out clutch, pushing clutch, shift gear, let out clutch.
Go, 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 go. When you start going faster, 100 or so miles an hour, it's just really exciting.
There's no medal or prize at the end of the track.
I come out here for pride of beating my friends in the drag race, having the fastest car. Ready?
They risk damage to their cars and to themselves, thousands of dollars, and countless hours testing and tuning. To them, the risks are well worth it. In Rockingham, I'm Jennifer Carpenter, Carolina Week.
Well, that does it for this special edition of Carolina Week, looking back at the best of spring 2009.
Thank you so much for spending your semester with us. Have a safe summer, and we'll see you in the fall. Good night.